it's appealing to people like me because it sounds like 80s music that I grew up on, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole idea.
I'd rather have Bruno Mars, and I rock with Bruno Mars a little better than The Weeknd. If they're in that same genre, right?
Yeah, but Bruno Mars probably has more range.
Yeah, speaking for The Weeknd, I mean, Bruno Mars has this rum. It's incredible. You got to try it.
All right, well,
Put you guys on that later.
Let's get to Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. So obviously they are excited in Dallas as Dak Prescott is back, and no one more excited than Mike McCarthy. He was talking to the media yesterday, and he just basically said that let's see, a couple of things he talked about. Number one was the fact that he was so happy when he heard about Dak Prescott re-signing.
That he wasn't at the press conference?
He heard.
Well, he heard because he was on vacation, and so when he was on vacation on a nice place with probably a beach and sun, this is what he said.
I was in Florida when the deal was finally completed. It's a lot easier to do cartwheels on the sand. I'd say that. Rich is having a hell of a visual over there right now, but I was obviously very excited. I think that he is definitely the keystone of moving forward as a football team. So I was very excited about that. And he was just finishing up his workout out on the field. As I walked in here, so he's making progress and he's on course. And I'm excited about year two of the offense because frankly in a lot of ways we feel like we didn't really get to have year one. So we're excited about what we can do this year with a healthy offense.
Mike McCarthy doing cartwheels on the sand, not a visual that I really would want at this time in the morning. But he did say, though, he's excited about year two and doesn't feel like he really had a year one.
Yeah.
So the offense was one of the top offenses before he was injured. After it, one of the worst in the league.
Right.
So clearly he's the linchpin to all of it. But, Bart, when it comes to the success of this team, is it all about Dak or is it more?
No, I mean, because it's all about the defense because they couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag last year. And you think about Mike Nolan, I got a lot of respect for Mike Nolan, but I feel like the game has passed him by. He was my coordinator in Baltimore. He had a regrettable years in Atlanta as a coordinator. And bringing a guy in like Dan Quinn to kind of bring that Seattle Seahawks cover three type of defense, bringing Keanu Neal, an enforcer that they can have, playing that will linebacker, that in the box, Ronnie Lott type of safety is going to give them a lot more security and being able to stop the run. They told Alden Smith he's not coming back. I anticipate that it may be another reunion because they're going to bring maybe Richard Sherman back and then draft Patrick Surtain, who balled out and showed what he was all about physically, legacy as well. Show what he can do at his pro day at Alabama. He should be off the board at 10 to them. And I think now you start have the pieces that you can put a solid defense about. It doesn't have to be a great defense. They just have to be able to get after the passer, not give up big plays. And with that type of offensive productivity, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the opposing team to try and keep up. That's when you take chances, and that's when you always see Richard Sherman just stand over the top and looks like somebody throws a deep ball, and it lands right in his hands. It looks like he's the receiver. It's because guys can't get double moves on cover three. So I think they're getting the personnel. They have great personnel. That's a problem. Like they have a pass rusher in Lawrence.
They have talent, man.
They had Randy Gregory if he can keep his nose clean, right? They're not going to bring Alden Smith back, who had 5 sacks, who showed that flashes of what he used to be, but after being off 4 years, they had to let him go. Jalen Smith and Vander Esch are legitimate second level linebackers when healthy. Vander Esch, can't his neck, his injury. I'm sure they're going to let Sean Lee go. So they have everything they need. Now it's about, can we put this together and come together as a cohesive unit? Defense isn't always about talent. It's about effort and reckless abandon and being on a string with your teammates.
I mean, offensively, they were one of the best offenses in the league last year when Dak Prescott was on the field.
Yeah.
When he wasn't, they quickly transitioned to one of the worst, right? So after you said all these great things about the defense, it's not like their margin of improvement has to be that great to win the NFC East. I mean, let me remind people, the Washington football team won the division 7-9.
Right, under 500.
7-9, right?
Right.
So look, I think if that defense is healthy, if they can retool it, they can get the pieces that you just talked about, they could be a double-digit winning team.
Yeah,
I think it comes between. This division is going to be between the Giants and the Cowboys. Do I think the Washington football team is a good team? Yes, I'm just not sure that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the guy that can take them to that next level.
Yeah, I mean, I love Fitzmagic or Fitztragic. We'll see which one we get
which
this
one we
year.
get.
You always
And
get a little of both.
Yeah, we'll see what they do in the draft. But I think this is going to be a competitive division outside of the Eagles. I think the Eagles will be sitting there maybe at 6-10. And you look at everybody else. I think they're going to be knocking each other off, and it's going to be what do they do within the division and how do they perform outside the division, right? Because the head-to-heads are going to, I think, are going to be the differential piecing.
I know that Mike. I don't know what that last
okay?
word was, but
Oh no, I'm something in my ear. I was like, huh?
I don't know. How you guys feel about it. It was just interesting for me. Maybe I'm reading too much into it because I know he was on vacation.
Yeah.
But when you have a quarterback like Dak Prescott that signs that kind of monumental deal,
You want your coach
don't
there?
you just jump on a PJ, a G4, fly there?
But you
be
understand,
there.
but in today's world, where we're Zoom meeting everything. Every
But with
press
the-
conference is a Zoom.
But Alan, with the way that went down,
And Texas
doesn't that
is
make
open
you
for
read
business.
into that a little bit more? Okay, we have to go to break. I'm just saying.
But